Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Taking a look here at Solana, still holding in very strong, folks. This is a coin right now where you're probably better off not shorting and just considering a long position. Now, I don't want you to blindly do that because we saw a pullback here recently when Bitcoin retested this more local low at 56,000. There's a lot of reasons why the bottom could still drop out, and we're going to retrace here soon because Bitcoin does look like it wants to start making lower lows and lower highs. However, contrary to Bitcoin's behavior, Solana's been doing very well. So we got to recognize that, and that's an important factor because when you identify altcoins are moving more independent of Bitcoin, those are the coins you generally want to invest in or take long positions with, essentially when these things happen. So again, future reference, Solana's looking pretty good just as a bumper sticker, but we'll look at a few key factors. Don't forget to hit the like button before we get started. Comment below if you get a chance. Love to hear where you're at with your Solana. What are you doing? Are you in a long? Did you get in at 110? Awesome stuff if you did. Let's take a quick look here at 155. So this area here is, again, we see somewhat of a double top. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see this area of rejection or resistance. So 155 to 156 has a tremendous amount of liquidation, somewhere in the range of 1 to 2 billion if you kind of spread out and go through all of these. So that's quite a lot of liquidation at one level. We do take a look here, of course, at the larger timeframes. We identified this yesterday. This is an area of significant value. So 1 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion. Okay, so there's more like 4 to 5 billion if we range up from 155 to 158. The reason why that's important is because that can act as a magnet and the price will sweep that level. It's also important to recognize too, it's a double-edged sword, because that area is a strong resistance and is more likely to hold the price action down. If we do take a look here, we can see that 151, 152, that is an area of resistance now for us. So that point of control, the local control, basically telling us we have the most amount of volume at 152. And in turn, the price being below that, it's considered a resistance. I know it seems kind of weird or illogical. It's like, wait, if people want to buy 151, why don't they want to buy 149? Well, it's because they've already bought and they don't have any more money. All right. Generally, that's how it's construed. Anyways, the whole point of this is just explaining that, liquidation. So it's good to know those areas exist for sweeps, because oftentimes you'll see a price do like this and then come back down. But outside of that, there's nothing really to worry about. The key takeaway, I would say also, the caveat there is that when you have high leverage, you're going to get liquidated in situations like this. So when you're in a really, really close situation, that's when you want to use lower leverage to ensure that you can sustain these type of ebbs and flows. Anyways, once again, that point of control, 152 is a round number. It's kind of the more macro. In fact, if we zoom out further, I'm curious what the new points of control are, because I know the 130 to 145 is that kind of that heavier concentration. It does appear that that's still consistent. So good news, folks, in the broad spectrum here, we go all the way back to March, we have a ton of support below us. Okay, so the likelihood of the price breaking below 130 is extremely low, especially considering how crazy the price got down to 110 and still closed above that 130 support. Okay, so it's really good. It's very good news. That basically just tells us that longs are going to be much more successful than shorts. And hypothetically, if you were to get in the 130 to 145 range, you're going to probably be doing pretty well for yourself. Pending Bitcoin doesn't retest low 50K, Solana should be in pretty good shape to see higher highs. Let's take a look here at the important stuff. Well, we haven't broken bullish yet. We're not over 50 on the RSI, of course. MACD and Stochastic are swinging up. Well, MACD's converging. It's not fully converged. These are good signs. These are very, very good. While they're premature, it's still starting to reaffirm itself that Solana is here to stay, and this range of 130 to 145 is extremely important to be able to stay above that level. We can also see that 148, that's one of those areas that's been a point of contention in a lot of different ranges ever since we hit this 150 plus. We can see 148 has been that point of control, or more so, sorry, that's not the right word for it. It's that upper resistance level that's turned into a support level now. So if you kind of zoom in, you can see here, the price action had some trouble breaking through, comes back down, likely retest, and we're gonna more than likely see the price continue higher. Pending Bitcoin doesn't take a nosedive, okay? Please understand that. So again, Solana's looking very strong. You're more likely to find success going up than down. But again, there's always that caveat that, Bitcoin controls the market. All right, Stochastic is swinging down, telling us we are getting near our initial top, at least for this run. So again, if the price does pull back, it'd be a natural, healthy correction to these lower fib levels. That would potentially be able to get us to a next level. We do also have a support at this 135 range, roughly. That was a previous resistance that bounced off that level roughly. So it's important to recognize that's a good level for us. If we do take a look here at 50 on the RSI, we're maintaining above that. Staying above that's good. If we lose that level, we can presume the price might continue to make lower lows and lower highs from there. Okay. Generally, I like to look for 50 on the RSI as a point of contention, either above or below. Kind of shifts my mentality of like what direction we're heading at that time. Right now, we're above that, still a good sign. Most coins are below and they're trending down, selling off with Bitcoin. And it's just one of those things where you got to recognize that it's important to be careful with your trades, but also Solana is looking very strong too. Okay. Either way you look at it, 4-hour time frame looks pretty awesome. MACD's losing some momentum, of course, and Stochastic swinging back. So I do still feel like we're going to see a little bit lower of a price point for Solana, but it may not be that low. I think 135 is honestly a tall order right now. Again, I hope we see 54 or 55,000 for Bitcoin. If that is the case, then a Solana long in the 135 range is awesome. I have an alert set here at the 135 to 136, so I can take another look and can potentially take a long at that level. Just again, it's kind of one of those more sought after ranges that to be able to get into a lower point of control just makes a lot of sense, especially when there's going to be a natural potential correction here before the next leg up. Because this is a very healthy continuation, folks. You got to recognize that. But this continuation does look like it's coming to an end if you consider that we're losing a few key factors. Being under the 20-day, sorry, that's the 20-day SMA, 100-day SMA, or sorry, that's 200 as well. The key here is that we're seeing just a shift in momentum is all. And it's not like it's the sky's going to fall. We're still over a lot of key levels here. But if we do look here and you're at all familiar with the Ichimoku cloud, the lagging span is intersecting with the price action here soon. And that tells us that you should consider securing profits because, we are getting, the end of this run is occurring, right? So we're starting to top out. We're starting to lose momentum. This confirms that as well with a conversion line on the baseline getting closer. The last thing we have as a line of defense is this more local support here at about 147. But what do you know? Look at that. The cloud is almost exactly within the point of control for the macro between 130 roughly and 145. So again, these are all loose estimates here, but the key takeaway is that we have a ton of support below us in this range here. So the likelihood of the price action bouncing and going up is still greater. Okay. So again, one of the few coins right now that's outperforming the rest of the market. Again, Solana takes the cake. So future reference, bumper sticker here is to consider a long versus a short, but also recognize that a pullback would make sense here. Doesn't have to be super substantial, but I think it would be important to maybe consider averaging into your position instead of just going all in right now. Okay, because it does feel like we're going to see a bit of a pullback here, especially with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, just broke free from its rising wedge pattern. It has potential to ABC out to the downside here after hitting our 1 through 5. So again, strictly hypothetical, but the logic here is sound. It makes sense that we're going to see a slight pullback before the next leg up. I was expecting it to happen yesterday for Solana. It didn't. Now today it's looking a little bit more realistic considering that we were moderately overextended here, and there's only so many legs up you can make with these more recent highs. Every time we see a new high, we're seeing a new low to follow it. So if we don't hold this level, we lose 147. I think there's a solid chance price action will continue down to 135 to 140. Okay, I'm hoping so. My fingers are crossed. Keeping my eyes. I'm not crossing my eyes though. That's the important thing, right? I hope you don't either. Thanks again so much for watching, learning what you can, and obviously becoming a study person, or the person that wants to learn how to do this. I can tell you, I dedicated my life to understanding these nuances. And consistently always learning now too. But the key takeaway I would say is that if you are to develop a good risk tolerance that works best for you, not what works best for other people, that's the important thing. Because not everybody's comfortable with losing, thousands of dollars, or some people are because they're used to winning a lot more, right? So ensure that you work well with that. I teach that in my trading university. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. It is available through our Discord, of course, just a link. It's basically through our website, and obviously as well. I've got our trade alerts here. Make sure you pay attention to these, folks. These are very important. These are things that I'm considering for trades that we're taking. Because again, the trade we took recently, a Bitcoin short, 20%. I explained why I took that trade yesterday and exactly what we're looking for in the trade. Okay, so again, it's all there for you. Just make sure you enable all channels in our Discord. Sometimes they hide the channels that are new, and I'm not sure why, but it's just a Discord thing. Anyways, thanks again for your time. We'll see you next one. Take care.